Welcome to our Grade 9 English Explainer. Today, we're taking poetry straight off the page and bringing it to life. We're going to learn exactly how to perform as a unified group, analyze a couple of incredibly powerful texts, and then test your knowledge with a rapid-fire quiz to make sure you're totally prepped for your exams. Let's jump right in.
Here is our game plan for today. We've got organizing a speech choir, analyzing sea fever, the man with the hoe, authors to remember, and finally, our interactive quiz and review.
First up, Section 1, Organizing a Speech Choir.
Before you even think about organizing your group, you have to build your foundation. Think of these four elements as your choir's secret weapons. You've got intonation, which is the rising and falling of your voice. Then there's intensity, which dictates your tone. You also need rhythm, acting as the melody of the poem. And lastly, interpretation, which brings all that raw emotion. Master these four, and you literally have the keys to a brilliant performance.
So how do we physically set this up? Well, first, you classify your voices into semi-choruses, specifically light, medium, and dark tones. Next, you form your groups. A wedge shape, like an inverted triangle, or a two-row semicircle works best. Oh, and make sure you stand close enough that your shoulders actually touch. It really builds unity. While you practice, recite softly to catch any mispronunciations, and keep your body movements strictly limited. Avoid broad gestures, and whatever you do, absolutely do not use a sing-song recitation.
Moving right along to Section 2, Analyzing Sea Fever. Take a quick second to think about this essential question straight from your reading guide. Why would someone describe their love for the ocean as a fever? I mean, think about what a real fever actually does to you. It completely takes over your body, right? It's something you can't just ignore or turn off.
The speaker in this poem doesn't just casually want to visit the ocean, they are experiencing this totally inescapable urge. The text describes it as a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. It is this undeniable, powerful pull toward a vagrant, wandering life.
Now, when you're performing this, the absolutely crucial element is knowing exactly when to breathe and when to pause. Our guide for choral reading uses slash marks, so 1 slash is a short pause. 2 slashes indicate a longer pause, and 3 slashes mark a major pause at the very end of the line. This specific notation is exactly how your chorus leader, who basically acts as your conductor, keeps everyone perfectly in sync.
All right, Section 3, The Man with the Hoe.
Let's think about this next essential question from the module. What kind of person is forced to carry the heavy burden of manual labor every single day? And why on earth does the poet compare this human being to an ox, an animal bred entirely for pulling plows and bearing immense, crushing loads? You see, this piece isn't just your standard poem. It is a powerful cry for justice. It's a literal social protest against the brutal jaw of labor and the world's blind greed. When you're performing this piece, you need to channel that deep sense of injustice directly into your intensity and your tone. The imagery here is incredibly striking. Captured right in the opening stanza, we see a man whose soul has been quenched by endless toil. He's described as stolid and stunned. To perform this effectively in a speech choir, your dark voices especially would need to really convey that immense, crushing weight of centuries.
Section 4, Authors to Remember. Before we hit the quiz, let's meet the brilliant minds behind the literature we just covered. These facts are absolutely essential for your exam, so listen up. First, John Masefield, who wrote Sea Fever. He actually served on a real windjammer ship in his youth before becoming poet laureate in 1930. Next up, Edwin Markham. His poem, The Man with the Hoe, was directly inspired by a famous painting by Millet, and it brought him worldwide acclaim. Then we have Carl Sandburg. He's the Pulitzer Prize winner who fought in the Spanish-American War and wrote the poem Lost. And finally, Sir Walter Scott, author of Lochinvar and literally the inventor of the historical novel. Definitely lock these details in.
And that brings us to Section 5, Interactive Quiz and Review. Let's see what you remember.
First up, a quick cheat sheet for our memory tips. Lock these exact definitions into your brain right now, because this is the absolute foundation of organizing your speech choir. Remember, intonation is your rising and falling voice. Intensity equals tone. Rhythm is your melody. Interpretation is all about emotion. And don't forget those slash marks for your short and long pauses. Okay, let's test your knowledge with some rapid-fire multiple choice. Shout out the answer to your screen if you know it. What's the best formation for a speech choir? Wedge or semicircle? Semicircle. Who signals when different members speak? That would be the chorus leader. In Sea Fever, what does the poet ask for to steer by? A tall ship and a star. And finally, The Man with the Hoe is a poem of what? Social protest. Let's keep the momentum going with some true or false. Number 1. Broad movements and excessive rhythm should be used in a speech choir. That is absolutely false. You want to keep your movements limited. Number 2. The voices in a choir are classified as light, medium, and dark. True. Those are your semichoruses. Number 3. Sing-song recitation is encouraged to keep the rhythm. False again. The textbook explicitly tells us to avoid sing-song at all costs. Number 4. Edwin Markham's poem brought him worldwide acclaim. That is definitely true.
Finally, let's check your mental notes with a little short answer review. What are the 4 considerations for a speech choir? Intonation, intensity, rhythm, and interpretation. What painting inspired Markham's famous poem? A painting by Millet. What title did John Masefield receive in 1930? He was named Poet Laureate. And lastly, what separates speaking parts in a choral reading script? Those would be your slash marks. If you got all of these right, you have totally crushed this module.
You now have all the essential tools you need to analyze incredible poetry and perform it powerfully as a unified group. You know the rules, you know the authors, and you understand the emotion required. So my final question to you is, how will you step up, cast your voice, and use rhythm, intonation, and emotion to make your next class presentation absolutely unforgettable? Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.